This is one of my favorite topics. Many executives have been brought up that the way you manage people is that if I can see you, if I can actually, and my expression is that if I can count the butts in the chairs, I know these people are being productive. Well, in a rural-based model, that won't work. A lot of projects, we have 5, 10 people working on it, and it may be across 5, 10 states. People from Maine to Wisconsin to Kentucky, this virtual team working together. You need to have a different business model. You need to have a different mindset to manage rural virtual teams. And so there's an ongoing discussion and philosophy about how to manage these virtual-based people. If you have an opportunity, I wrote a blog 2 months ago and it's on our website. I call it Coaching Cats, where basically you want independent people who are used to working and managing themselves, and you create the network, and we use a proprietary mix of services and processes to tie all these different people together. All right, in summary, $7 billion is being spent to put a broadband router in every home. These people will connect. These people will want to do far more than just do Facebook all day and play interactive gaming. They will want jobs. They will want to learn. They will want to make money. And the USA has always created world-class products. And over the last couple of decades of global markets, we have seen where the U.S. has basically, their urban market has priced itself out of competing with Vietnam, India, China, South America, different areas around the country. And so we've lost. That's why so many millions of jobs have gone overseas, because when you're making, whether you're making furniture or whatever it is that the jobs have gone overseas. And what I'm stating now is because of broadband and because of this interconnectivity that we're going to now see a huge rural American workforce that where $20 an hour is a great wage. I have coworkers who make $25 an hour and their relatives think they're rich. These people...
Are they independent contractors?
Pardon me?
Are they all working as independent contractors?
Some are W-2, some are contractors. Okay? These people now enable America to now compete globally as a virtual, highly skilled, aggressive, ambitious workforce, thanks to your all's work on implementing broadband nationwide. And that is my presentation. Thank you all very much. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, you're done real fast. So I guess you've got time to answer a few questions.
I talk fast.
Rural America, or is that
Rural America.
Okay, you got to spell your
I'll be happy to give you one of my cards. So,
okay. You're starting to hear now about job auctioning and
job bidding?
or job bidding, I guess it is. Obviously, you've got to have broadband for that. And if you're living in rural America, you may be a little bit less costly than the guy that's in downtown New York City. Maybe. But doesn't that also apply back to onshore types of things? And being an ISP, wanting to get more exposure of broadband and internet into my county and trying to get my county to change its economic base from being just pure tourism and building industry for second homes to some kind of real industry, I think it's important for us to somehow take this message out there and show how important. I tried to do this 12 years ago, and I was laughed out of the county commissioners because they said, oh, my son's in the building business and I'll make sure he's never without a business, because I was trying to get him to look at how they were just wildly just taking over the entire tourism, beautiful countryside with homes, and to stop that. And his son's without a job now. He's no longer the county commissioner either. But I want to go back to him now and say, okay, now it's important that we see about getting fiber in the ground. We see about getting super high speed available to anybody that wants to come up live up here, because they're going to be rural America. They're going to want an inexpensive high speed source of information. They're not just going to be retirees with $1 million homes.
Right.
So I think being able to present them with something like this is going to be important.
Okay, well said. My discussions with economic development people is that forget about bringing the $500 to $1,000 person manufacturing company or company to your town.
They're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it.
No.
Okay, and the cost is going to be too much. Or try and bring a 20 to 30 person call center to your town, because call centers still pay minimum wage very low on that. All right. The best thing you do, and you hit it right on the head, is that you go back to these people and say, give your people the resources, broadband. Give them the training and the education and the availability of knowledge. Now, you mentioned something about auctioning. There are numerous sites out there called Elance, Odesk, where basically freelance individuals can bid on projects worldwide. All right. Elance. Elance, ELANCE.com. Odesk. That, and it's just not IT, it's a wide range of different services, social media, whatever. Those are great for freelancers. We're actually a step above that. People come to us and say, hey, we want you to do a project. Now, when you use somebody from Elance, if that person gets sick or they don't do a good job, now you're sort of in the same situation where you were going off to India, you can't get the work back. Well, our value-added service is basically saying, hey, we're hiring these people, rural-based people, and we also provide you networking, and we network the people together, and we have management layers in there. We ensure the project gets done. All right. So my message to economic development people is that create the tools, create the, don't try to say, I want to do the press release where I brought 50 jobs to the, all right? What you want to do is get people to start their own businesses.
So what sorts of jobs? Like, is it technical writing? Is it database?
Oh, it's interesting. The people who work from home, JetBlue has their whole customer reservation system is of people who work from home. Okay, so you got customer service, you have marketing, you have IT, you have copywriting. Virtually anything that a business outsources can be done virtually if you have the right processes and procedures. It's one thing to hire one person who's working by themselves, but if we took this whole room here and tied them together, that requires a different level of complexity to tie you all and to make you all work together to be able to keep coordinating on a project.
It means you have to do real management and human
Right.
resources on your side.
Right, but the management tools that all current executives, not current, all, but many executives are taught is that the way I manage you is when I can see you. One time I went to a big insurance company at a beautiful campus, and they had 3 big towers. And I'll meet with the vice president, and she says, well, how do you tie all these people together? And I said to her, hey, Vicki, when you need something from building 3, do you always go see them face to face? And she says, well, no, I pick up on the phone or whatever. And I said, well, we're doing the same thing you are, except you're separated by a couple hundred yards, and I'm separated by hundreds of miles. It's the same principle. And I said, do you make your people time in, or do you always make sure that you go over and see their work at their desk over in Building 3 before they start work? And she says, no. And I said, well, we're the same way. And instead of managing people by the fact that I can see you, and I see you working, or whatever it is, I now manage you by saying, what did you get done today, Alex? Okay? You know, our managed people say, Alex, you really should be able to get this much work. How much work did you really get? How much did you deliver today? It's not quite piecework, but it's more results oriented. That's a different management style, and a lot of executives are not comfortable with that.
Well, I mean, I already worked with that. I left my own company, but I still can submit articles to them through content management system. It doesn't matter who the manager is. It doesn't matter. But you're doing a variety of different jobs, and it's clear to me you've done a lot of work on that. So do you have some sort of, for editing, we have a template. The database, the content management system says this is the assignment, this is the number of words. And I gather that you've done something like that. You've got sort of a template for, all right, we're going to have a marketing campaign, we're going to help a company go out here. We need a copywriter, we need a manager, we need a salesperson to actually follow up. We need to put a database together and all of that. You must have, you're making it sound, I think, a little simpler than it is.
The devil's always in the details.
Yeah.
That's a very astute. When we started 2.5 years ago, we offered 2 services. And now we offer 15 to 20 different services. And as you keep offering these different services, you have to have processes in place. Because if a company comes to you and says, here, I want you to do this project, they're actually giving you a piece of themselves. And you better be good. Because I keep telling my people, we're only as good as our last project. And so the tie in what you're saying is that, yes, if the company says, I want to give you a more and more complex project, we have to have the methodology people put in place. But what's so cool about working with people in rural America, like one of my favorite interview questions I ask people, I say, Nick, if you could live anywhere in the country, in a rural area, where would it be?
Where I am.
Where you are?
Yeah, upstate New York.
Great, great. Okay. Most people who don't have that opportunity, it stuns them because they're so used to chasing the job than rather have the job come to them and living in upstate New York. All right. Many people are moving to rural areas for whatever reason, following family, to be with family, personal choice, whatever it is. And these people are just not like they're just, you know, they're complete novices. These people have multi-years and years of experience. They're just looking for an opportunity to find work. And that's what my company does. Rural America is that people come to us, they give us projects. We're now recruiting in 47 states. We get 100 to 150 resumes a week of people looking for work. And our job is that, unlike the Elance or the Odesk or these freelance sites, is that we match these people up with projects, with projects to ensure that projects get done on time. So,
And do you handle that management then for the project, or is that also outsourced to somebody?
no, it depends on the customer. The customer a lot of times wants the customer meets all our people, either by Skype or different things like that, or flies them in, whatever. Either they manage the people, or we manage the project and then hand it to the end result when we finish. So each customer is different.
What's the size of projects that your company typically handle?
Anywhere from startup companies of 1 or 2 people, all the way to our customers range all the way up to $1 billion companies. But